yeah, Black Sun in the hizzle, all for shizzle dizzle. We got an excellent show here today. Yeah, got to pop up. Yep, got to pop up. I wanted to touch on something real quick. I hope my mic is good. I hope my mic is good. Oh, hope my mic is good. Oh, my mic is good. Hold on, let me check my mic. My mic is good. Okay, I think my mic is good. So, um, culture. Last night, me and MD, we did a pop-up show, and culture was brought up, and um, he talked about how Busta Rhymes um, was saying that black people in America have no culture, and so I wanted to address that. Yeah, I wanted to address, Busta Rhymes. Culture. The breakdown of culture is basically the achievements of a collective, the collective achievements, as a group, a collective group, and what their achievements are. That is a culture. That's the basic breakdown. And my thing is this, and this represents not only, I want to talk about Busta Rhymes, but people that have Busta Rhymes mindset. Why didn't your culture, your collective achievement, because that's what culture is. You got to be kidding me. You fucking idiot. Just pulling out in front of people. You fucking idiot. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. A collective achievement. So my thing is achievement. Achievement is something great, something that you can, uh, like, let me give you an example. Like the civil rights movement. The civil rights movement was a collective of people to achieve civil rights within the United States, the whole civil rights movement. So that was an achievement, a great achievement. Um, Now, a person can argue and say, well, Jamaica got their independence, that was an achievement. And it was. It was a great achievement. What's going on? Drop the link. Yes, sir. Ganga in the hizzle invites. Yes, sir. Yanga, you have the damn administration. I don't know why you asked me for a link, but you know what? I'll send it anyway. But you do have administration. Don't mean to put you out there, but goddamn, Yanga, I'm driving. Oh shit. Okay, there we go. There we go. Yanga, there we go. So let me. Yeah, man. Oh, this is perfect. Yanga jumping on this. This is perfect. This is perfect because I want to address this thing about culture. Like I said, Busta Rhymes. We're gonna have Yanga join us in a couple of minutes, y'all. We're gonna have Yanga join us. Hopefully, MD will join us. I don't know if MD's still sleeping, but Yanga, there goes the link. There goes the link right there. Hopefully, you can join us right now or join in. Like I said, this is just a. This wasn't planned. This was just something that I. Okay, Yanga.
What's good this morning?
Hey,
Grand
Yanga.
Rising, brother. Grand Rising,
What's
everyone
up?
out there.
What's up?
Man, what's up, man?
You gotta
Yeah,
add
I
me, and
caught
you
it
could
that I
just,
could just go, come
yeah,
on
yeah,
in.
yeah, yeah. You can just
Yeah,
come on
yeah,
in,
yeah. And I
brother.
heard you talking about you driving. You know you can multitask. You be making driving, making sandwiches and shit. You be doing it all,
Yeah, I know,
bro.
right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah. I
No,
wanted to get your
I was
take on
up, man,
something.
getting
Oh,
my
go ahead.
coffee. I was up getting
Yeah.
my coffee, and I ain't gonna lie, I'm one of them people that be in the clouds on the arena. You know what I'm saying? I just
Yes,
sit
sir.
back
Yes,
listening to
sir.
you and MD
I
and
love
shit,
it.
go back and forth.
Yes, sir.
But
Yeah.
yeah, you said something, man. That Buster Rhymes, and it hurt my feelings because I like Buster Bus.
You know
I,
what?
I I I genuinely liked, but and I haven't even heard the statement. I've been hearing uh, the fallout behind it. I've heard that a
Yeah.
lot of people are upset, especially a lot of us nationalists, black nationalists, and just black people in America. Period. Whether you
Right.
have any particular ideology, just black. It's like really, Buster, really. So what
So,
was it exactly he said?
okay. So basically, the sentiment is that black people here in America don't have no
Hmm.
culture. And this is
Mm-hmm.
coming from, like I said, I just use Buster Rhymes as just one example because we all know him, but a lot of
Mm-hmm.
sentiment, and I'm not saying all Jamaicans, all Haitians, or all Africans, but this tends to be
A
the
lot of them.
sentiments towards
Yeah.
African Americans. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, this morning, what I did, Yanga, is I looked up, hold on, I looked up the word culture.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, culture is based on achievements.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we could just knock it out real quick with the civil rights movement. In fact, I tell you what, that's cheating. Let's just talk about the goddamn Black Panther Party with the goddamn grits program. A
Yeah.
collective achievements.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, and I don't knock, let me just say that, I love Jamaican people, right?
Yeah.
One of their great achievements is
I
that
love
they
their food.
gained their independence. Oh, I love their food too. I love it.
Yeah.
I love their food. But my thing is like when we talk about achievements, is your achievement so great to where and I'm gonna have to put my damn MAGA hat on. Why do y'all keep coming over here to America?
Mm-hmm.
Because that is an African American achievement why America is so great. Like I
Right.
said, it's rooted in the civil rights movement. Like I said, the civil rights movement, the goddamn Black Panther Party movement. I mean, it's all steeped in, boned in black culture. Let's not even mention the music. Let's just talk about like I said, some of these strides, like I said, to make America better so these people can come here, the migrants, the
Mm-hmm.
immigrants.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's the danger of that. I told you, I'm like everybody, I was the bad guy though. When I speak about immigration and immigrants and the sentiment of the immigrants and not just the sentiment, I hate to be,
Oh shit.
can you hear me?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, you're good. You're good. Okay.
Yeah, I hate to sound like Trump with this and this anti-immigration thing, this and that, but it does set black people back. It sets black
Right.
people back. There's a cultural like but I don't know why he said we didn't have culture, but there's a cultural disconnect, a misunderstanding, and it's designed in immigration policy. We have to remember, man, black people in America have a unique case.
Right.
It is unique. And I also want to go to that. We talk about that constitution, uniqueness of the of us in America and being backed by the Constitution. Did you know in the Constitution made compromises? You know about the 1808 compromise that the
Yes, sir.
Constitution said, okay, we'll do slavery for another 20 years. Right. So the
Right. Right.
Constitution, they're saying, okay, even before this 1808, slavery can't be amended. This is in the Constitution. Slavery
Mhm.
can't be amended before these 20 years. So, what is your 14th Amendment to me? The Constitution is just that. It's a piece of paper that will go to the sentiment of the people. And we, the people, are white people, by the way. So, it'll lean to the sentiment of the people. I think that this is why Black America, we never really have. Just claimed us, just had a group claiming us as a group of people. I think that's going to be one of the biggest steps we take when we just start moving collectively as a group because everyone sees us as a group. That's my argument. So now Buster even comes out and says, and I'm so mad at Buster. Here you have Buster. How does Buster have the audacity to say that? And Buster's a 5%er.
Right. Right.
That is
Um,
uniquely American, Black American.
it is absolutely, absolutely, it is, absolutely is. But again, but like I said, Buster's just one example because like I said, I think it's almost like a us versus them mentality. And it's like, damn, you guys
It is.
just came
It
here on the
is.
boat.
Yeah.
What are we talking about here? The
Yeah.
struggle, the struggle is just that much easier because of us, because of black
It
people.
absolutely. We open the way, and so in order for them not to deal with us, for this European not to deal with us, not to have to deal with the guilt and face the crime that he does, he puts in for immigrants. By the way, black immigrants being the last on the list. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know why they get over here, and well, I do know. Nobody wants to be the nigger, son. Nobody wants to be the nigger. So of course you're gonna start making this. Yeah, we may have the same skin complexion, but we're not like them. You're gonna have a
Right,
us versus them dynamic because you don't want to be mistaken for them, you know. But yeah,
but
we
want to be
go ahead, brother.
them,
I'm listening.
but you're but when I say, I'm speaking of the people who say, oh, I don't want to be the nigger, but they look like us. But
Hmm.
you're the people who basically we need to build a wall for because you're the ones over here. You're them that want to take the jobs away. You're them that want to drain
Yes.
the economy. You're them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they do. Anytime when we start making advancements as a people, and we know our history, we came from slavery, working absolutely free, to sharecropping, to Jim Crow. We've been cheated. America has cheated and robbed us of our labor since the time we've been over here. And so when we start
Right.
making demands for fair wages and making demands for respectability in the workplace and things of this nature, they bring in the fucking immigrants. They say, all right, nigger, you want to complain?
Right. Right.
We'll go get these niggers from a third world
Right.
country. You know,
Exactly.
how
They
dare you
work cheaper.
complain, you
Right.
nigger? Right. They work cheaper or won't complain. You know, we just got them out of a mud hut. You know, they was over there eating rice patties. And so
Right.
coming over here, so they think we look like complain. We look like we're complaining. When they come over here, coming from where they come from, they're like, "Oh, what are you complaining about? You got this, you got that," but they're not taking into consideration our history. We're still 300 years behind. I'm sorry that you live in the Stone Ages. I'm sorry you guys are so far behind that you come over here and you're bedazzled. You're ooh ah, and you see these opportunities. We're saying that not only have we built this place, but we're denied access to these opportunities. We 300 years behind, where you come over here and you see 300 years ahead of what your cultural social understanding. You know,
Right.
what's happening in where you at. We have to admit, America is probably the best place in the world to live materially.
It is.
There's
It
hands
is.
down.
It is.
Health,
Right. Right.
uh, like you always point out, even I would say legislation, even though it isn't in favor of the black man, I can only think what would happen to me if I went anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? What
Well,
happens to black
gang,
people anywhere else? Yeah.
gang, I think they get it misconstrued. The people who, when they oh, see, Blackson, he a bootlicker. See, no, what I'm saying is
Hmm.
that it's not perfect. It's the best in the world, though. Please dispute that. Please
Yeah,
dispute that.
it'll be hard to dispute it because even if it isn't the best in the world, it leaves, even if it's a pretense, it leaves the pretense of having the people, giving the people the ability to change what's wrong with it. You know what I'm
But
saying? And that,
the,
yeah,
the immigrants are the ones making it look like it's the best in the world. See, the immigrants back up my argument, Yanga.
yeah. Well, I
Where
mean,
else
to
are
them,
they
when
coming
it's
in
it,
droves
it's
to get
right to
goddamn steal the
them, and
jobs
yeah, yeah, yeah. You might be right. To them, it is the best in the world. Compared to what they're coming from. I think what happens with us as black people here, why it's hard for me to say the best in the world, when I say it, I'm saying it through gritted teeth, because black people have been denied the vision, the opportunity to make America or any other place the best in the world. It's hard for us to say it's the best in the world because we're receiving a lot of shit, and black people
right?
aren't as international as we should be. So it's almost like, okay, what world? The only thing we know about China is the materials they send us when our shit says made in China. We
Right,
don't really know about Iran, Iraq. We don't really know about these places, but we know about the Trayvon Martins, about the George Floyds. So
right,
it's, the best place in the world to a lot of people is an absolute nightmare to black people. And so with, like you said, the immigrants come over in their perception, man, this is the best place in the world, not taking into consideration our history and our relationship to this place.
right,
And this is what we're telling immigrants. It's not that we're lazy. It's not that we can't or we don't want to advance. What we're saying is what we won't do is capitulate. We're not saying, okay, yeah, this is as good as it gets. We're okay with that. We're constantly fighting to make it better. We make America great because we're
that's the whole
constantly
argument.
fighting
Right,
the injustices and the bullshit and it isn't so much the documents, but like I be telling MD, it's not so much the documents. I'm arguing against fantasy land. You know how we get down, like we was going against Lex and all this fantasy land.
right,
I'm looking at the people not only who framed it, but the people who enforce it, and white supremacy permeates in the language and it allows these white supremacists to use that language to enact white supremacy and to hold people back. But I don't want to digress from
Oh, no, 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 no.
Buster and the
Let's
whole
just
immigration.
right,
Yeah,
right.
and the whole immigration thing. But yeah, man, y'all, I know, and I know me and Trevor, me and T. I don't know what's y'all relationship, so I don't know if I'd be shouting the name, but me and T used to go back and forth, and we still go
My
back and forth.
relationship, my
Yeah,
relationship is he's a bitch ass nigga. That's
man.
my
See,
relationship with him.
see, leave him man alone. He's alright, dude, man.
Yang, I'm sorry.
Yeah, Trevor's alright.
I
Yeah, how you
know.
gonna have me on the panel and
No,
in
he's a
front of
bitch
my
ass
man
nigga.
like
Oh
that?
my god, bitch ass nigga.
Don't do that, bro. Don't do
Yeah,
that,
man.
man. How
I'm
you
sorry,
gonna
man.
have me on
Yang,
the?
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry.
you
I'm
can't have me
sorry.
on the
Okay, I
panel
won't do
this
it.
because
All
I
right,
fuck
I'll
with him
behave.
hard.
I'll behave.
Yeah, okay, behave, man, behave, because I fuck with
Okay,
Trevor
gotcha,
hard, man.
gotcha, man. Okay, okay, I'll behave. I'll behave. I'll
Um,
behave. I'll behave.
yeah, yeah,
I'll behave.
but I was mentioning him to say that he and I went back and forth on the immigration thing. I think his
Uh-huh.
parents. I think he's an immigrant. His parents are immigration and immigrants and this and that. So yeah, we go back and forth. But that's my whole take. They come from their country, and I get it. And America is very beautiful as far as material. It's there. As far as opportunities, being an immigrant, I think are a little better than if you're born Black American. I think it's a personal grudge between them and us.
But why does it have to be a grudge? I mean, I don't. Well, is it the competition? Is it
Hmm.
the opportunity? Is it the
Well, our
don't
grudge
mess
is,
it up for me?
yeah.
I mean,
Well,
what? Okay,
I think the grudges go there. My grudge is the attitude. When I have a grudge towards some of our immigrant brothers, it's because of their attitude towards us. And like I said, you don't know enough about Black history. First of all, when you come over here, where did you get your history from? When you take these citizen, citizen classes for
right,
your citizenship, the history is so biased. You're
right,
already,
right,
you know what I'm saying, and you're already biased towards the Black man as is. As is,
right.
we know the stereotypes, we know the whispers, the rumors, we know what is placed on us, Black people in America, worldwide. And we're buffoons. We have to go. I'm never surprised anymore when Black people like yourself go travel and they come back and they tell me what the world thought of them, or thought we were, or thought we lived. Some have went to places and said, everybody over there think we rich over here, and some went to places and said everybody over there think we're absolutely buffoons. So the Black people as a group haven't made a statement for themselves yet. Everybody steals from the very culture Buster Rhymes says we don't have. So that's one. I don't think that the immigrants have a proper understanding of the history and the relationship between Black America, the inception of America. I mean, we go back to our labor funded this motherfucker. We are intrinsically a part of the American experience and what America will be. This is why I'm a nationalist. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, my
Hmm.
people's blood is tied into this shit, but I'm not under. So go back to reiterate. So when the immigrant comes over and doesn't have that understanding of the unique relationship that Black Americans have, they don't understand why we fight for more. They don't. It looks like you're lazy. It looks like you're ungrateful. It looks like you're just complaining. They don't understand why we're fighting for more because we are owned. We are owed ownership. You know what I'm saying? We're not the immigrants. We're not. We like them. Not like them white people, but we have just as much vested interest as Thomas Jefferson, as fucking George Washington. This is part of our shit, and we're saying, hey, you guys have cheated us
Not
out
only
of our share.
not only with Thomas Jefferson and George Washington, but a lot of us have Thomas Jefferson and George Washington blood.
That's what I'm saying. You felt real talk.
So yeah,
You said some real
that's real
stuff.
talk.
That's
That's
real
some real
talk.
stuff, right?
You
Right.
know, you own this joint, so we can't clock out from it. So you
Yeah, a
can't
lot
just
of
clock
black
out from.
people bloodlines are tied into George Washington's bloodline.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. A lot of us walking around
Right.
still carrying, our slave masters' last names, and if we really do, we do. Ancestry.com to check our ancestry, which is super cool. But also start checking your family tree. Do Ancestry.com to start checking your family tree. And I think a lot of us would be surprised. A lot of us look over some, we'll have them bleeps pop on our family tree, a white person to jump out here, a white person to jump out there, and we'll overlook that. But if you got this white great grandfather, you study him, like you said, you come and find out the motherfucker was George Washington's great great grandson, some
Right,
shit
right.
like that. But we won't
Mhm.
study those bleeps, but those are part of your genetic makeup. If it's in your tree, it's a part of your genetic makeup.
Okay, so let me play devil's advocate, Yanka. So the immigrant, they come over here, like you said, they like, what's wrong with y'all? You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So they see the opportunity. They don't see any setbacks. They see, like, I'm gonna jump on this boat, travel across this goddamn water,
Right.
and hit America, and
Hmm.
goddamn hit it running.
Hmm.
So
And that's great for them. I love it, and they do it.
okay, right. So then they might look at us and say, you know what? I have the same skin color as you, even though culturally
Hmm.
we're not tied. I don't
Hmm.
know the history, but you can do what I do because you're the same color as me.
Right.
What would you say to that?
I tell them go back to my initial argument. It's BS, and the white man will constantly promote you because you capitulate. You come from an island that is poor. Let's just be honest.
Right,
It's poor.
right,
So you come.
right.
So a job. You'll come and take
So
this
I gotta,
job.
gang, I gotta stop right there. So if
Yeah.
they have this great culture and the island is poor, what is this great achievement that they
Because they
have?
they they don't. They don't. They're looking at us. They're not looking at, first of all, when you say black people have no culture or no achievements, America itself, Elvis Presley. You know what I'm saying? Elvis Presley
Right.
got, don't, I'm from Big Mama Thornton. The music, the foods, everything. America is part of black culture. So that's
Right.
the first
Agreed.
thing. To say that we don't have culture, welcome to our culture.
Right.
Welcome to our culture. When you step on the lands of the shores of America, and this is what we're telling them: when you come take these jobs for X and X an hour, we're telling you as black people, we've been doing that for 60 years. We're saying now we want management. It's cool. You guys are coming from damn near the fields, feudalism. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Agreed.
So you would take these jobs. That's cool. We saying we've been doing this job for 60 years. We want management now. We've been here fighting this struggle. And then what we'll do,
Right.
we'll fight for management. They'll start letting black people in management, then they'll give it to the immigrant.
Mm.
Black people fight for it. You do all the fighting. Black people are the warriors. We do all the fighting for the equal rights, for the affirmative action, for this, for that. Now you
Mhm.
look at DeKalb County. Did you know DeKalb County is hosting the Georgia state flag, the American flag, and the LGBTQ flag?
I'm glad you brought that up because me and Nature Mom did a show. In fact, me and MD did a show also. In Michigan, they have an all Muslim city council, and they fought because of the Constitution to take down the LGBTQ flag in Michigan. Shout out
Hmm.
to the Shout out
Hmm.
to them because they felt like this is not a representation of our community.
Yeah.
All
Uh,
Muslims.
it's probably talking about Dearborn. Man, I went to Dearborn. Dearborn's like Mecca. You probably talking about
Yes,
Dearborn,
sir.
Michigan.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Man,
well,
I mean,
yeah, they have 9 Muslims on the goddamn city
yeah,
council. That's all I know.
yeah.
And they were like, no, 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 no. That flag is unconstitutional.
Hmm.
Yanga, your
Well,
Muslim brothers were like, no.
yeah, they went in there and used it to their benefit. So that speaks to DeKalb County. Can't, so apparently DeKalb County doesn't think it's too unconstitutional, or um, the LGBTQ community is in that much power, because that speaks to power. It speaks to political power. You remember when we had the show with Dougie about HB 40, House Bill
Yes, sir.
40, about this thing, and that's what we was talking about. And what did they tell LGBTQ community? Tell Zell Miller at that time, if you vote yes for that bill, we're pulling these companies up out of here.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it made Zell have to say, like, vote the bill down, even though the sentiment of the majority of Georgia, which is red, was totally like for it. He had it's that political power, it's that economic power, it's group workings. That's how this shit work. That's how they're making moves like that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's all in moving the collective.
Right.
So
Right. So would you say that Zell um, put money over the Constitution because that's unconstitutional, that flag?
yeah, absolutely. I think they
Okay.
always do. I think that that's the thing that they were going to work. The America initially was intended to be a male Anglo-Saxon dominated place.
Oh, Yanga,
Come
where?
on,
How? Do you
come on.
you got
We
like?
the
Can you show
people.
the doc? We the people,
We
right? But it
we the
doesn't say we
people.
the white people.
Yes, that's who they talked to. Who else they talked to? Nobody else had rights. Women didn't
Yanga,
have rights. Black people didn't have rights. Come on, who is we the
Yanga.
people?
But if they were aware of that at the time, do you know that the Constitution, if they wrote in white people, that us, the immigrants, and every other people, the Chinese, would not be able to benefit and take advantage of the perks today if it was deemed white people?
They
Because
didn't. They
live.
need a labor force. They needed a labor force. When you talk about there's a three-tier structure in America.
Mhm.
There's the elite, there's the management class, and then there's the labor force. They are the elite. They begin to create a management class, and we are the labor force. We're at the bottom of the rung.
But
That's
I
what that
think,
is.
yeah, no, I can't buy
Yeah,
that. So
yeah,
no,
yeah. I'm
no,
telling you.
no.
I'm telling you. You think that you was included in We the People?
So no,
We,
no, 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 no. Did England, when they had a monarchy, or even like Saudi Arabia, they have a workforce too, don't they?
yeah.
Stalin had a workforce.
hmm
Fidel had a workforce.
every nation is
Every
gonna have
nation
a
has a
workforce,
workforce.
but when you have a workforce, when you limit elevation, when you limit the ability to rise, that's what we talk about with the workforce. America was founded on slavery, so it has to have a base workforce that it keeps in that class. It keeps you there. One of the ways it does it now is through felonies.
Yanga,
Felonies ensure.
hold on.
Think
I
about
gotta
it.
stop you.
Felonies ensure. Okay.
You said America was founded on slavery. Slavery existed before America.
Yeah, I didn't say America invented slavery. I said America was
Okay, okay.
founded on it. You know what I'm saying? It didn't invent it, but it was founded on slavery.
No, it was
And
founded on
Chattel,
no, it was founded
and
on their hatred for the king.
oh,
It wasn't
well,
founded on slavery.
you
Now
may
they
be
happened to
right.
have slaves.
I stand
Okay.
corrected. It may not have been founded on slavery. It was funded. When I say founded, the
I,
economic base, the cornerstone of America, its functionability was based on slave labor. Get around
okay,
that one.
okay.
And so it being based on slave labor, that becomes an intrinsic part of the economic process. That has to still somehow be a cog in the machine. It still has to be function, it still has to exist. Slavery still has to exist in a way and function. And so prison became the way. America has the most prisons in the world.
Right.
In the world. Black people are 13% of America and make 45% of the penitentiary. And then I forget how many number of us are on paper, on parole or probation, which regulates you to a work class. When you have paper, when you're on paper or you have a felony attached to you, there are certain jobs that are restricted to you. It relegates you to a work class.
But I
And that's what,
mean,
yeah.
it's funny how you say it was built on slave labor. Actually, this country was actually built on, and I know you'll agree with me, on criminality. This was a penal colony.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and this penal colony eventually came up as king haters. They hated the king. They hated being
hmm
taxed. They hated not being representation. So it's a conglomerate of different things. I'm not going to take away the slave labor. Absolutely not. You know what I'm saying? The slave labor was there, but we live in a country where this is not a utopia. We live on a planet that there's no other utopic planet. You know what I'm saying? There's no country on this planet that is utopia. Every country,
hmm
every country is steeped in slavery
hmm
at one point in
hmm
time, just like every country is steeped in cannibalism.
hmm But
So But I don't
Okay, but
take away your fight to make America better, make it great. I don't
and
take
that
that fight away. And that's the thing that me and you wholeheartedly agree on. The black
hmm
struggle and how black people make this country great.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? And it's not perfect. Yeah, we're steeped in slavery, right? So yeah, as far as America is concerned, they owe us reparations. However, that documentation we the immigrants are taking advantage of it, and they're looking at us like, what is y'all problem?
it's they're taking advantage of it because they're allowed to a degree. We have to understand that we're pitted against each other. This is what I'm telling black immigrants and black
Okay,
people. Regardless if we call ourselves black, to me, all of that is semantics. And semantics
it is.
is mean the same thing, different meaning the same thing with different way. Yeah, so I'm talking about being lumped into this group thing, but nobody wants to. They treat us so badly that every immigrant over here wants to distinguish themselves from us. That's one of the first
Mhm.
things. So the system plays on that. So the system will promote them. The system will put them in a management class. For two reasons. One,
But
they're
is that
di-
a system or the people or the individual
it's
people?
it's it's the system. It's the system will
But you can't
it's
point out where a system can do that. How can a system do that? That takes a person. That takes an individual person to say, you know what, you're all right. You're not like those niggers. You're
hmm
Jamaican, yeah.
So
That's an
you're Jamaican.
individual. That's not a
So
system.
I'm gonna use the system to promote. You're Jamaican. You're all right. You're not like them niggers. I got this affirmative action. I got to this. I got every law. What I'm telling you, the things that we push to be laws for our advancement.
Hmm.
If the wording isn't specific for us, like you talk about the Constitution, it doesn't say white people, it doesn't say black people, it doesn't say
Right.
slavery. If the wording isn't specific, then it can be played with, and that's what they do. They use the system to advance their own ideological objectives. But that's what
But
any
Yeager,
human do. That's what we want to do. You
but
know what I'm
Yeager,
saying?
that's MD's argument. MD's argument is that legally we are deemed freemen. Jamaicans can't claim that. Haitians can't claim that. Africans can't claim that. Only Africans here in America can claim freemans.
MD has to show me where that's at. I've been looking for
Okay.
that and looking
Okay.
for that, and I haven't seen Freeman. I seen where we were free, where property was freed, where we was
Hmm.
free. I've
Okay.
seen where black men were given the right to vote. I even see in Reconstruction, but this is what I'm talking about wording. Even in Reconstruction, we had the most black politicians we ever had. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? If
We
this
did.
thing was so steeped in legalities and was so just and was so colorblind, because we've adhered to it. We've called on it from Frederick Douglass all the way to Dr. King, have been
Hmm.
calling on them to uphold these principles that they were so eloquently speaking of, but they're using the wording and the letter of the law to let us know we the people are us, buddy. You guys get we're giving you these rights, but there's no gonna be you'll never be accepted in America as an individual
So again,
citizen, as an
you're
American. You will always be a black American. And that's my argument with MD. You know what I'm saying? Until even if the Freeman thing works, we still have to move collectively. You can't enter America like the white man enters America. It was built for them. It was built for their advancement. You still there? Did I lose you? So it was built for their advancement. I'll talk until he comes back. Nowhere have I seen where it just says we freemen, and if we claim freemen, then we will be accepted and we will be protected by the law. We constantly see gross and blatant abuse of the law when it comes to us. If we don't move collectively, and that's politically, you know what I'm saying? We need to practice a democracy amongst ourselves. I know we're always saying that we're not a monolith. You back up here, buddy?
shit. Shit. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry about that. That was MD, man. He's on his way.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So, now what were we talking about, man? We were talking about the
The
freemans, the
Freeman
whole,
and
the
stuff.
legal.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you couldn't find it. So you couldn't find
Yeah.
no court cases or nothing. Okay, well we got MD
Well,
on the way, man.
I didn't look for the court cases. He may have to show me the court cases. I couldn't
Okay,
find it.
okay.
I seen where we had our had our rights. I seen where we started making advancements. I also see where the same laws, when we talk about what's unconstitutional and these and that, the same laws were used either as an obstacle to hinder our development, or they were just grossly overlooked. My argument with MD is individualism won't work for us. If we don't move as a group like everybody in America does, then it's to our detriment.
Seven.
But,
Right.
hey,
There you
peace. Can
go.
I be heard?
Peace. What's going on, MD?
Yeah, hey. Good morning, man.
Good
Everybody,
morning.
man. Damn, I hear a bad echo.
Hold
I
on,
don't know
that's
if
me.
that's
Hold on.
me.
Let me mute. That's me. That's me.
No,
Hold on.
yeah,
Oh,
because
okay.
yeah, y'all guys are sounding clear to me. What's going on, big dog?
I can't call it. Okay. Give me a mic check, Blackson.
Yeah, you sound good. It's yeah. I think it's. I don't know. Because I muted out. I still hear it.
I don't
Yeah,
hear
I
an
don't
echo.
know. StreamYard been tripping last couple of days. I don't know.
Yeah. StreamYard is tripping, bro. Damn.
Okay, yeah. I'm just checking in. I didn't even know you were live, Blackson. I
It's
saw
just a
you had
pop up.
called.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah. I
cool.
just.
Yeah, yeah, I'm just trying to get context to the conversation.
Yeah, we sitting there just shooting the shit, and we was talking about the
Buster Rhymes.
Freeman, Buster Rhymes. Man, what do you think about that? Can you believe
Oh
that,
yeah.
man?
Yeah, he said black coaches don't exist.
Mm. You know,
That's
and
what he said.
he's not alone in that sentiment. I've heard that
He's not.
before. But like I told them, man, if really, to be honest about it, American culture is black culture. Elvis Presley, the foods that you eat, the clothes you wear, all of that has been appropriated from us. You know what I'm saying? America culture in itself is us. And that's when we talk about the immigrants. They don't know our history. They don't know how intrinsically woven we are into the American experience and American concept. You know what I'm saying? This is why I'm a nationalist, because I'm a black American.
There you
So
go.
the survival of my children or this and that depends on the rectification revolution, basically. America getting its shit together. And I think that the only way that we'll force America to begin to get its shit together as concerning us is if we move collectively. I don't think getting into the American experience as it exists now and trying to play the game individually will be beneficial for us. I look at, so that's my whole take. And then I go back and I ask Buster and them, I wonder why they say that. What do they call it culture, and why they feel like black Americans don't have a culture?
Well, I talked about this last night. Uh,
Hmm.
a lot of those northeastern cities, man, they're intrinsically multicultural.
Hmm.
So the black American experience was always shrouded under that. You know what I'm saying? From that
Yeah.
perspective. We were talking about parts of Chicago. It's very multicultural up there. You got pockets where it's just all black communities. That's how it started. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, hell, even going back to New York with the Renaissance era, that was all
Yeah.
black for the most part.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
when we start getting immigration full fledged in this country, we saw a paradigm shift when it came to how we viewed other black people. And from the societal aspect, we let them all in culturally, where it got to the point where everything got generalized as black culture, but it wasn't meant to be that way. And then you get your
Mm.
hip hop era and all of that, and everybody's credited for that. To the point now where it's the argument on who started hip hop.
Right. Right.
That
Well,
that's how that whole spiel with Busta Rhymes started.
right. Which is terrible because because hip hop is multicultural to me.
Yeah,
Hip
yeah,
hop is just
to a certain aspect, yeah,
to
it
a
is.
certain extent, right. When you look at the inception, but the black experience is what propelled hip hop. The black
There you
experience
go.
is what cemented hip hop because they may have added their culture, but they was adding aspects of their culture based on the black experience. When you hear "Don't push me, cause I'm close to the thing," it's based on the black experience. They're gonna add their culture because they're participating in our experience. But to try to come out and to claim it wholly, and that's our whole thing. We don't move aggressively as a people. We never have. We are very accepting. We don't move as aggressively as other groups. You were talking about those cities. Like you said, I'm up in Cleveland and I know about those pockets and they practice group economics and they move group wise. You can, like in Cleveland, there's pockets of German, Dutch, this group, that group. And when you go in their communities, all their stores are owned by them, right?
Right. Hey,
They, they,
real quick, gang. I just left Cleveland, man. I was in
okay.
Cleveland yesterday,
You
and
see the
and and
plight that it's in?
Bedford Heights. I was in Bedford Heights. I went to Cuyahoga Heights, and then I went through Cleveland. Not not
Mhm.
not even 15 minutes away going east. I was in Amish country.
Yeah,
I said, damn.
yeah. That's Cleveland for you. That's Cleveland. you know. So, like I said, when you go in their communities, all their stores are owned by them. Then you ride up the street and go in our communities, and all the stores are owned by them. You see what I'm saying? That's the difference in when you see pockets like that. They move collectively like that. When you go into their communities, they have what's those things? They have like halls. You know what I'm saying? Like they might have the Hall of the Italian Americans, the this and that, you know. So they have even these groups, these societies. What's going on, brother? These societies that help them get acclimated to America and help them take advantage of the things that America has for them. With the if not the assistance, with the non-hindrance of white America. You know what I'm saying? It's almost shit. Their struggle isn't like our struggle.
Now, Yanga, you had said earlier that you were having trouble finding, I guess, a case involving the Freeman.
Well, I hadn't looked for case. I was looking for the word Freeman in the Constitution. Like the Constitution is very slick. It has some slick writing. The MD had got me looking through this thing, and it is very non-descriptive.
Yeah,
It
but Yanga,
doesn't.
they when they wrote the Constitution, they didn't really, and I know this kind of backs up your art. They weren't thinking about, they were thinking about themselves and the king and how they stand with the
Absolutely.
king.
That's what I'm telling you. That's what I'm saying. That it
So,
wasn't written when they saying we the people, they talk about us and the king. And even when they talk about the 1808 compromise of the Constitution, I think it's in the First Amendment, where slavery can't be abolished, can't be amended before these 20 years. So it's not like slavery
but was
wasn't
it,
an
but was it
wasn't an
amended?
issue. Huh?
But was it amended?
Yeah,
But it was amended though.
yeah, but it still wasn't given because you weren't written into having full rights. The system wasn't designed the way that it was like that 20 years compromise. Because they don't
Hmm.
call it slavery doesn't mean they can get rid of that system. They have to have a system to replace the economic mechanism. Slavery was an economic mechanism. They knew it existed, like MD was saying. And MD, you should do some lives on like the radical Republicans and shit like that. A lot of people don't know what you're talking about when you say a radical Republican. I didn't know to that extent. I knew Thaddeus Stevens, but I didn't know he was a radical Republican versus the moderate Republican like Abraham Lincoln. I didn't know the back and forth these motherfuckers had. I was like, damn, these motherfuckers off. Uh, however,
Right.
so slavery was an issue. You have some white people that had real issue about slavery, but in order to bring the South in and to make the South down with the unification of the nation and the federalization of everything, they had to have that compromise. And then even after that compromise and with the voting rights and this and that, you still wasn't given full voting. Now the South wanted us to have, here's the crazy shit. The South actually wanted every slave, every black person to have full voting rights. Isn't that crazy? But that would have
Yeah,
given the
but
South
it was a
power.
reason. It was a reason behind that. Yeah, the South had power.
Yeah, it would have given numerically, it would have given them power. You know what I'm saying? So the compromise of that was the 3/5 thing. So we didn't even have
Right.
full rights coming in, and that's what I'm saying. That I don't think that we fully are written in, and until we force ourselves to be recognized, written in, and not fucked with, relying on the wording of the Constitution could be very dangerous for us because I don't see where we were written in it. I see where we were purposefully. Slavery was purposely for posterity's sake. Slavery, black people were purposely left out.
I don't mean
I,
to interrupt you. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
no, I'm gonna
Hey,
say
real
real
quick,
quick, Black. I don't disagree with that. But what I'm saying is, when they was coming up with the Constitution, they knew that, and they wrote it in a certain way where certain omittance and redactions can be made later on. That was specific. So I'm not knocking the way they wrote it because they had a specific reason behind writing it that way, even for themselves. So you find any particular group besides men in the Constitution.
Yeah. Say, fellas, I got to jump off for a second. I'm gonna jump right back on. I got an appointment I got to try to make, but I'm gonna jump back on.
All right, no doubt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right,
Yeah,
MD.
yeah. So again, I don't disagree.
Yeah, I was trying to. I wanted you to show Yango the court cases when it involved the Freeman because he said he was looking for it in the Constitution. I said, no, there's a court case, the legal terminology. So I wanted to show him that. So because that right there sets us apart from the Africans and Jamaicans and Haitians as far as achieving reparations. So I just wanted to just show him that part. Like it was said before, I don't care what people label themselves. As a collective to achieve this thing, as a collective, we have to use a legal terminology. So I just wanted to show him that. So if you could, I guess, present that or maybe share that with Yang at some point in time so we can get clarity on that.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's several places that you can find freedom. Again, you're not going to find a specific group in the Constitution. That just ain't
Right,
gonna
right.
happen.
No.
Now, it's the precedence what defines the people. Like the first one you would go to, obviously, is the Freedmen's Bureau Act of 1866, where
Gotcha.
it clearly defines saying that who freedmen are in the formerly enslaved, now emancipated, and their descendants. That's what it clearly say. Go back to
Right,
the court case in Connecticut under the Supreme Court, where the dude was trying to get the inheritance to the will, and he wrote freedmen in the will, but they tried to claim it as black and got denied, and then came back with the right language, said, okay, yeah, okay, now you got it. Freedmen, formerly emancipated slave, formerly enslaved people. Didn't even say black throughout the whole. It don't even say black in slavery.
right, right.
It's a formerly enslaved people, now emancipated, and their descendants.
Right,
So if you're a descendant of slavery, you are, from a legal standpoint, a freedman. It just didn't go to the people that were emancipated. It also say to their descendants.
right.
The same with the Indian freedmen that are still called freedmen today. They
There you
weren't they
have it,
weren't
y'all.
the
There you
ones that was emancipated by the Indians. They did descendants, clearly defined.
Oh man. Right. So now that we got that, so now that's on record. You just answered Yanga's question. That's on record. You've said a million times. This is the key to our reparations right here. Not calling ourselves black or Moors or whatever anything else but freemen. So that hopefully uh, answers Yanga's question. So my question, empty, because we talked about Busta Rhymes last night. We talked about the whole, and this morning, man, and this is why I called you even before I started the show. I looked up the word culture. And culture, the roots definition of culture is collective achievement. Why do I bring this up, MD?
Uh-oh.
Because, yes. What is so great about the collective achievement? Let me just use Busta Rhymes. He's Jamaican, and I'm not picking on Jamaicans or Haitian. I'm just saying, just what is so great about your collective achievement that you got to come over here? Why didn't your collective achievement do great for your country, Jamaica? You hear me so far, MD? I know I'm from a
Yeah,
bad
yeah, I
area.
hear you.
Okay, so how do we measure this collective achievement? Because it seemed like every one of these immigrants are coming over here based off of our collective achievement, civil rights, our collective achievement, the Black Panther Party. These are African American collective achievements. You feel me, MD?
I feel you.
So
I
when they
feel you.
say we don't have a culture, they're saying we don't have a collective achievement, but yet you're coming, you're jumping on the boats, you're jumping on the hot ass, musty ass boats and shit with piss and shit everywhere to take advantage of our collective achievement. I'm
Not only
confused
that,
here.
Black Son. Not only that, Black Son. You got to dive deeper into what collective achievements mean. Collective achievements simply mean the summation of the individual achievements of a specific people. That's all that means. Broke that down in the Ayn Rand video. That's
That's
the
right.
actual definition of culture. The
So,
individual achievements of everybody in that particular society.
so would you say the civil rights falls into that category?
I mean, somewhat because civil rights was the acclamation of individual ideology at that time, which formed
Okay,
civil rights. So yeah,
okay,
I
okay.
I would definitely put that into now civil rights ultimately was for a group, but the
Right.
achievements are the ideas of individuals during that time period.
Okay, okay.
So yeah,
Um,
I would put that under that category.
what about the
But
Black Panther
but
parties
it
with
was
the
expressed for all. Same, huh?
what about the Black Panther Party with the grits and the what do you call that sickle cell anemia shots? Was that considered a
Yeah,
collective achievement
yeah,
by a
of course.
specific group? Okay, okay. So what is Busta Rhymes talking about?
He nigga babbling,
He's nigga
and
babbling,
and and
right?
and and he tried to hurry up and throw his American suit away to put back on his Jamaican suit because at that
Right,
time it was beneficial for him.
right. But he's not in Jamaica though.
You can't tell a Jamaican that.
I can't tell Jamaican what that they're not in America when they're in America.
Yeah, so a lot of these foreign melanated people
Uh huh.
believe in the best of both worlds when it comes to how they view American society. They
But they're
believe
here
that
though.
it's but that ain't the point. The point is that they can reap the benefits of the American society and still live in their own cultural skin, and that's the essence of America.
So why did they
For the
come
most
to
part,
America
a
in the
lot of
first
immigrants
place?
because they want to reap in the American benefit.
Oh, okay.
But that's where it stopped. You see what I'm saying?
That's where it stops, right? But what I'm saying, the main goal, what I'm saying is that there's no people rushing to get over to Jamaica, is what I'm saying. I'm meshing in this whole culture thing in with immigration, with the benefits, reaping the benefits of why people come here in the first place. And it's because of our collective culture here in America that these people are knocking down the good doors to get here. Uh oh,
Yeah,
hold on. Yeah. Okay, we got Yanga back. Okay. Yanga, you know you can
yeah.
add yourself, brother. Yeah.
The achievements through our collective culture is what grants you the opportunity to reap in the benefit.
That's right.
Period. But hey, some people, including myself to a certain extent, will say that was the wrong way to go because there was no specificity involved in any of our achievements leading forward to a sense of equality of opportunity here in this country. And that's why
Okay.
I think we dropped the ball.
Okay. Now, real quick, Yanga, you were off, but MD did present us with the Freeman Act.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Check,
okay.
check, check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Check. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I can. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in the car traveling. Okay. Okay. With the Freeman Act.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go to the Freedmen Bureau Act of 1866, where it gives the definition in section one of that particular bill. Then also you had certain precedents that were made after that went back to the Freedmen's Bureau Act to define a specific person or a specific people.
Okay. And these are federal bills.
The federal bills, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I know about the Freeman Bureau, a little bit about the Freeman Act. I had to look into it.
I think it's number I think it's SB 613.
Okay.
And yeah, then like I said, then you got specific individual cases where they went back and basically referenced the Freedmen's Bureau Act to define a person or a people, and that's the term that they used, free. As a
Oh.
matter of fact, I was saying it was a court case in Connecticut where a white dude left an inheritance to a black man, but because he came in using the term black in and of itself, they denied his claim. Then he had to come back and use the term freedman, and he got it. So yeah, it's all types of references in history that says this. It clearly it clearly tells you even to the affirmative action case,
Uh
it's giving you the cheat code. It's giving it to you. Say, hey, look, you can't do nothing based on race, age, sexuality, blah blah blah. But you can do it on status. The Veterans Affairs Act. After the damn, which I think it was the war. It was either the war of what was the war after the damn Civil War? It was what it was a war where veterans had to collectively come together and define their status. Veterans didn't used to have a status. It was just you fought in the war, then you came back home. It was no benefits to what you were. You were just a former soldier. The
French
Veteran
Indo.
Affairs Act gave, huh?
French Indo War. That's the French Indo War. I'm sorry. Go ahead. After the
It
Civil
may
War.
have been that one,
Yeah.
but they had to come in and legislatively give former soldiers a status in order to receive benefits of being in the military. The Veteran Affairs Act. Ganga dropped off.
Oh shit. Okay.
So
Well,
that's a
hell, keep.
status.
Yeah.
That's a status that people that's formerly in the military get in order to receive state and federal funding. Status.
Right. That's right. Yeah. There we go. All right, man. Well, like I said, he's a good Jews, man. Like I said, this is documentation, so people can always go back and reference because, like I said, it's gonna come up again and again and again. I think you ain't gonna get it, but somebody else is gonna come and try to dispute you on the whole Freeman thing. So the documentation here is very important. So yeah, man, you're dropping jewels, MD, man. Man, hey, um, like I said, to come with this collective achievement of getting reparations, we have to use that legal term. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, so hopefully, again, we get this documentation. We got a reference point to go to because, again, people are going to bring it up again and again and again. In fact, somebody's going to do a damn show on this show later on today or probably tomorrow and talk about, oh, I'm in the black. So now you got something to reference to. You know, You got something to look up. To you people who want to rebroadcast the show, you know who you are.
Hell, even to this day, some people say, well, the Jews aren't a status. That's a race of people, which I disagree with on that aspect. But that's another topic. But even the Jews in 1945, when they were doing the special considerations for Jews, they didn't do it under Jews. They did it under refugees. Now they do it
Oh,
under a protective class.
oh wow.
Even the status of the Jew itself, Jew ain't even in the actual amendment. Matter of fact, just extended it. I think it was either last year or beginning of this year, and it say protected class. Jew ain't
Right.
even in the whole in the wording of the whole document.
Got you. So
Israel,
basically,
Israel is in there, but Israel is a nation, just
right,
like Indian is a nation. So you can't use Indian either
right,
because that's not considered a race. That's a nationality.
right.
So yeah, that's what we're dealing with.
Man, well, shoot, there you have it, y'all. There you have it. And I, like I said, I want to again, man. I'm so glad that Yanga and MD came on this morning, man, because like I said, that whole thing about Busta Rhymes, it was just like I was like, man, what is this big deal about this culture thing? I was just like, and then I looked up collective achievements, and then I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. So, again, but I mean, really, I mean, let's just come down to it. Culture is a man-made construct at the end of the day. It's a man-made construct. So, how does it improve our lives? Let me ask you that question, MD. How does culture improve our lives today, here and now, right now? Like, what is the beneficial perks of a culture or coming as I guess, aside from reparations, because I know you're going to say reparations. Aside from
Well, I
reparations,
mean, I mean, it depends on what aspect of culture you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? You can't just generalize it. You know what I'm saying? Like we just said, the civil rights movement is an aspect of Black American culture, and we
okay,
benefit from it still to this day.
right,
But like, we got other aspects of Black American culture that are actually a detriment to us. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
so yeah, it all depends on what aspect you're talking about. You know what I
Would you
mean?
say affirmative action was a detriment?
Yeah, how
Yeah.
it was written, hell yeah, it was a detriment.
Okay.
But
Okay.
that's
Because you can
our
say,
fault for not eagle eyeing this shit. You know what I'm saying? Not making sure that the wording was right. Hell,
right.
in all actuality, we didn't make sure that the Civil Rights Act was right as far as the wording,
That's right.
the keep it a buck.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we benefit from it, but hell, so does everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
So does everybody else. So then we're not. I mean, it's a detriment. It's a
To
detriment
a
then
certain
because you're
extent,
not.
yeah,
Well, that's just like saying immigration is a detriment to a certain extent.
yeah, yeah. It's a blessing and a curse. You know what I'm saying?
How is it a blessing?
Because we saw the achievement of the work that was put in order to obtain the right in and of itself. The detriment is we didn't specify it.
Well, I was okay. So I'm. Oh, okay. I think you misheard me. I'm talking about like immigration. Like, is immigration a blessing or a curse?
I thought we were still talking about civil rights.
Oh, no, 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 no. I mean, I was trying to. I was trying to. Well,
Well. No, if there was no civil rights, there would be no immigration.
right. Okay. Good point. Very good point. Very good point.
Because right after the Civil Rights Bill was the Immigration Act.
That's
Or
right.
what was that, 68?
Yes. Yes.
The Civil Rights Bill opened up all type of shit.
Can immigrants get food stamps?
Yeah, they can. Hell, they get them. They get them right off the damn banana boat.
Great. Wow.
Ain't no application process.
Right. No application process. God damn.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
why.
yeah, man, yeah. Like I said, bro, I blame them niggas from the Northeast. Y'all did this shit.
Right.
Like when our ancestors start migrating up toward that way, we exemplified aspects of our culture. Like I said, the Harlem Renaissance, perfect
Yes.
example.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But then y'all start amalgamating with these other people.
Right. Right.
And because and again, because you wanted to make sure that everybody knew what
Thank
your culture was, yeah, and you wanted everybody to emulate what you was doing, you fucked up. And now not only are they emulating what you're doing, they straight out co-opt it.
you. Co-op. Yep. Took over. Yep. 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 Um. MD, I want to ask you this because I didn't have a chance to ask you because you did watch the show with me and Nature Mom, but you didn't. You never. I think you jumped on, but you never. You never.
Yeah, it was breaking up on my end, so
Yeah, it was breaking up on your end, man. So since I got you here now, I wanted to get your take because shout out to Malik and John. Malik and John, I think Malik is from Philadelphia. He's an American.
Philadelphia, yeah.
Yeah, and John is from Brazil,
He a Brazilian German
Brazilian German. Okay, okay. So
because
Nature
he had
Mama,
a strong German accent.
yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, yes. Nature Mom brought both of them on, basically to give their take on, what was going on in France. And Nature Mom, brought up some interesting points. And my thing is like, okay, I think it was John who said, they're okay as far as you coming in as a tourist or American, wherever you can come in and spend your dollars, but when you try to move there, then it's a problem. So I wanted to get your take on that.
Well, I mean, it's a problem because then you eat up the resources.
You eat up
You
the
know what I mean?
resources.
It's one thing. It's one thing to partake in a certain aspect of that particular country, but you doing that in exchange for currency. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, okay.
But when you come in there to amalgamate into society, you just another mouth to feed at the end of the day.
Ah,
That's what these people. That's what I think. And same go for the United States.
yeah.
Like people don't
Oh, yeah.
understand, bro. You just another mouth to feed. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, see, that's why I
I
was
don't give
trying
I
to.
don't give a damn like what you look like, what your sexual orient. I don't give a damn about none of that shit. You another mouth to feed.
The mouth to feed. Right. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I was trying to convey on Sunday. I don't know if I guess I don't. I guess I was not doing a good job, and that's why I hate your phone was not coming in. But I was trying to convey that, yeah, because of the economy, and I was trying. I guess I was beating around the bush. I don't know. I guess I
No,
was
no,
beating
no,
around the
no.
bush.
It's all good.
I don't know.
Now,
Yeah.
don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted. Throughout history, we've seen because of that aspect that you're another mouth to feed. We've seen fascism sprout out of that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Absolutely.
We've seen nationalism sprout out of the fact that the resources are now being drained from a
Right.
specific group. If I live in an all white country and another group of people start migrating into that country and the resources begin to drain, the inflation starts to rise, whatever the
Right.
situation may be, naturally these people gonna say, hey, look, there's another set of people that is the root cause of all of this happening.
Right.
And then they bind together in the form of nationalism to root out the problem. That's just a natural occurrence.
Yes.
Us as human beings, we specify ourselves based on how we look.
So would you say it is a human being instinct of survival?
That's what I would say.
Okay. 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 So it's not necessarily because I mean I think the confusion was, wait a minute, they treat us nice when we come spend money here, but when we trying to live here, that they all of a sudden they become hostile. So is it racism or is it just, yo, you're another mouth to feed?
That I believe the another mouth to feed aspect is it supersedes racism. Hell, how do
Oh,
I know this, MD? I know this because I remember in 2019 they had something called a year of the return in Ghana, where niggas was going over there spending millions of dollars in Ghana. And that shit was all over with. They said, okay, take your black ass back to America.
right.
And some people were coming in other West African countries. The native Africans had a problem with it. We seen
Right.
reports of Africans coming and burning property down of Americans.
Yep.
Hell, even outright killing
Yeah.
Americans.
Yep.
Angel Snupnup pointed out the report where the two sisters from America came over there and was using capitalism to build a business in the village in Africa, and they came and killed their ass.
Yes. Yes.
That
They
you
did.
can't blame racism on that,
No.
or can you? At the end of the day, you were taking away resources from that particular geographical area, and they didn't like it.
Right. Right. Would you say
So
that?
yeah, stop playing games.
So
We
right.
we really gonna have to break down. We get at some point in time, we're gonna have to get out of the white man disparagement and get into the disparagement of the root cause when it comes to different groups of black folk. I mean,
That's
shit,
right.
Akata is real at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Yeah. That's right. Oh.
But yeah, like I said, man, I didn't even know you was live, man. I was fucking
Yeah, man.
I was working on this damn load, and I saw you had called me.
Yeah, man. Like I said, I was thinking about the show you did last night, man, and I was like, man, it's I gotta add more to it, man, because even though, man, good show last night, man, I was like, man, it still was on my mind. It still was on my mind. It's like, it's almost like, man, it needed to be a second part to this. You know what I'm saying? Because again, this emphasis on culture. It's like, again, MD. I'm like, if your culture is so great, because, like I said, the root definition of it is a collective achievement. Why are you leaving your country?
Well, because it's not. I mean, it's certain. Like I said, it's all types of different aspects to a culture. With us, our culture consists of political, societal, economical, musical, artistic. I mean, all type of aspects of culture. And it is my belief that we allow certain aspects of our culture to be meshed in with others, and that's
Right,
the issue. You know what I'm saying? And then we put all under that. We put that shit all up under the guise of blackness.
right, right,
That's the
right.
issue.
That is the issue.
When on the opposite spectrum, Jamaicans ain't meshing in American culture with Jamaican culture. They ain't, hell no.
Right,
Dominicans ain't doing that. Haitians ain't doing that. But because we've allowed it, they're They got the capacity to jump in and out, in and out, in and out.
Yep.
But we can't jump in and out because we're not allowed in Jamaican culture, except for spending money with them
Right.
and perusing in they establishment.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We can go get an oxtail plate or some rice and peas or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But that's
Yep.
the extent of it. Now get your black ass back on. You know what I mean? Thank you. Give me your money. That's the extent of it. But on the opposite spectrum, a Jamaican able to come out of their Jamaican household and then parade around as a black American, then jump back out and go back home.
Right.
We can't do that shit at all. But that's based on the aspects of our own culture, and that's where I think we messed up at.
I would agree. I would agree. I would definitely agree.
Even to the point now where it's messing with us politically. Now in
Right.
2023.
Right. 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 I agree with that. I agree with that, especially politically. I would definitely agree with that. But again, um, I mean, I guess that's a whole nother conversation. How when you talk about, well, let me just use a paradigm example of Jamaicans coming in and co-opting our culture, where Biden can come on TV and say, if you don't vote for him, you ain't black.
It broke up, Black Son. I ain't hear what you said.
I said, you talk about how Jamaicans have co-opted our culture, right?
Right.
And I can use the same argument politically, where the Democrats have co-opted our culture to where you got Biden feeling so bold enough to say, if you don't vote for him, you're not black.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right. But like I said last night, Democrats have used Black American culture as cannon fodder.
Yeah.
So I mean, they use black. Well, let me not even say Black American culture. They use the Black American aspect of our reality to as and they use that shit as a shield for everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
They literally take black women, and like I said, black women in specific, because that's who they've chosen. Black women in specifically, they put them in front of the on the front line to fight a battle not meant for all Black Americans.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And black women, they wear that shit with pride.
Right.
There
How
is
did
no black girl. There is no black girl magic without the Democratic Party. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
That
Right.
shit is a marketing scheme.
Right. How? Well, I guess it's so. How do they appeal to the black women? How does the Democratic Party? What do? Well, I guess there's an old saying: "You love the devil because he gives you nothing." But how do they? What do they sell to the black woman to make her the?
I mean, they sell them as being the spokesperson. Like,
Oh,
and I never knock the achievements of black women. I never knock that shit.
no,
But
of course not.
but their achievements come off of the lack of success of the black man. And I'm using it that in general terms. Again, I'm not. I ain't trying to pigeonhole everybody. That
Okay.
but I'm saying from an aspect of thinking outside the box and looking at everybody in a certain light. They've seen the statistics when it comes to the lack of success for the black man, which is a farce, by the way.
Hmm.
Like statistically, I mean, hell, just as many black men going to college as black women, but
Right. 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 Let me.
from a society standpoint, we don't look at it that way. We look at look at all these black women striving and you know climbing the rungs of the corporate ladder and going to college and then niggas shooting each other on the side of the street. You know what I mean?
Right, right. You know, it's funny
That's
you
how
said that.
everybody else view it. My bad.
Right.
Go ahead.
No, no, no. It's just real quick. In the, you know, we talk about black women. Black women are the most conservative people that I know out of any group. They are the most conservative. Just their whole mindset, their whole way of life, their whole everything is steeped in conservatism.
Right.
It just is. It's steeped in
I
conservatism.
mean, I
It's steeped in
you got to
capitalism. So
clarify it. Not the capitalism part, but the conservative
okay,
part.
okay, not the cap. Okay, conservative
Because I
part.
because I would disagree to a certain extent.
Black women are the most religious out of any group.
Okay.
Just okay, I guess that's anecdotal, but they're the most religious out of any group. Men and
Okay.
women, race, they are the most religious.
You're right about that.
It don't get no more conservative than that. Religion.
But that comes from them the night before clapping their ass on top of a table. You know what
I
I'm
get
saying?
that's where
So
capitalism
so that
comes
I
in.
guess
Well, hold on,
I
that's
guess
where
that's where the
capitalism.
anecdotal. Yeah, that's why you say
Stop.
it's anecdotal.
Hold on. Yeah, wait. Stop. Time out, MD. I'm just dealing with one spec conservative. I said they're the most capitalistic too. So yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the damn clapping the ass. They're capitalistic on Sunday and religious as hell on. Well, I'm sorry, capitalistic on Saturday night and religious as hell on Sunday morning. It's like a buffet for black women. They can be super religious and super goddamn go to the club and make all the god make it rain.
Right,
So
right, right.
that adds to my other argument. So they are only the most
And
capitalistic,
and
so
and
they're the
and
most
then
religious.
and then pray. They'll praise God for obtaining the money from them clapping their ass.
Hey, that's the American way.
So 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 why is that not exemplified through political conservatism though? That's the question that need to be asked.
How would you do that? Now I got to ask the question: how do you do that? Because we're talking about a custom, a culture that black women do. They, some of them clap their ass on Saturday and go to church on Sunday. Capitalism and conservatism. I mean, both rolled into one. America's great. America's great.
So
So
no, that's what I'm asking. So
okay,
why is that not an aspect of political conservatism in America? The black woman is not perceived as a example of political conservatism by no means. But we just said that black women are the most conservative, pretty much out of all people. Well, yeah, that's oxymoronic. You know what I'm saying?
because I want to
And
say
I and
that
I
black.
and I, I'm not saying I got an answer to it. I don't.
I think I have an answer to it. I'm gonna take a stab at it because black women allow other people to define them because they want to be accepted. So the liberals say, "Oh, we'll accept you, we accept everybody," and so black women naturally gravitate towards that because they want to be accepted, they want to be represented, and so apparently that's how they're made cannon fodder for the Democratic Party.
In 1 mile, take exit 15 on the right to Tallahassee Road, then take the first left.
Say what now, Black Son? My bad, man. I don't know. I'm breaking up. Like I don't know what the hell's going on.
Oh, okay. What I was saying is that because the
Can you
Democratic
hear me?
Party, yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Testing, testing. Hello?
Yeah, yeah. I can hear you now. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Can you
Yeah,
hear
what I
me?
was, yes, I can hear you. Yes, yes, I can
Okay.
hear you.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. What I was saying was that black women
Take exit 15
want to be
on the
accepted,
right to Tallahassee
and
Road, then
so
take the first left.
the Democratic Party allows they perpetuate that acceptance. Like, we accept everybody, so black women naturally gravitate towards that acceptance part. Whereas the Republicans are like, hey, you either with us or you against us. You know what I'm saying? And that comes off as more brash. And black women are not attracted towards brash. They're more attracted towards the soft, loving side. And the Democratic Party perpetuates that.
Turn
They
left at the
give
stop
that
sign,
image out
then
there.
take the first left.
So it's more about inclusion, is what you're saying.
Yes, yes, absolutely. You have black women want to absolutely be inclusive. They want to be accepted and inclusive. They don't want to be seen as a misfit or an outsider, or they want to be. They want to feel like a belonging, a belonging. That's what they want to feel. And I think the Republican Party comes off as too brash, too macho, too mannish. I
Turn
guess I
left
don't
at the
know.
traffic light.
Well, but here's the thing, though, Black Son. So I get what you're saying, but based on the principles of both parties, why is it acceptable for the Democratic Party to allow a certain aspect of black women to be acceptable, even though it's against progressive ideology? You see what I'm saying?
Because progressive ideology they really don't have no direction. It's just really a free for all. It's really a free for all. I mean, they have to keep that free for all to gain the numbers. We both know that they have an agenda that doesn't benefit none of those. Oh, Yanga's phone died. It doesn't benefit none of those groups. We know that. But as long as the Democratic Party give that persona, the black woman
In
will
4
be drawn
miles,
to it,
take
attracted
exit
to it,
10C
because
on the right
it it,
to
it,
US
it, it gives off this
129
persona
South.
of acceptance. You know, that's why, I mean, if black women really knew what socialism was, they would run away from that shit. They would run away from that shit. If they seen the horrors behind that, they would not be. I mean, yeah, we got a mixed economy and you get the little benefits now, but if we made a total country based off socialism, no, black women in fact, they would be the first ones in the pit because they consume the most. And that's okay because, like I said, capitalism is built around black women's. Black, black women are the largest consumers in this country. And so, yeah, it's nothing wrong with black women
Right.
being, I mean, being not only conservative but being capitalistic. It's in their nature. The whole system is built around them because they're the largest consumers in the world. The pledge was written. The pledge was written by a socialist. Oh Lord, Yanga, boy, charge your phone up, Yanga. Charge your phone up. He's saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm assuming that's what Yang is saying was written by a socialist. Is that what you? Oh man.
Okay. Okay.
Oh
Is,
man.
is the
Yang.
country is the country social? I mean, a lot of people had a lot of different views. Hey, again, that's what makes America great.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely,
You know
absolutely.
what I'm saying?
Right, right. Well, we agree
But
on
at the
that
end of
then.
the day, if that shit don't fall in line with the Constitution, you in the win. You know what I'm saying?
Ruled. How the fuck you gonna overrule the Constitution? Defense, keep the defendant silent.
Hey, there you go. I mean, look at the different ideologies that the founding fathers had alone. Again, Benjamin Franklin was an atheist.
And he was a whoremonger.
Thomas Jefferson had one of the biggest plantations in Virginia. Yet Thomas Jefferson wanted to abolish slavery in the beginning, but he ended up taking it out. I don't think a lot of people know that. And one of the reasons he wanted to abolish slavery because he loved
In
the black
150
slave that he was
miles,
fucking.
take exit 10C on the right to US 129 South.
No wrong with
Like,
that.
what are we talking about? You know
What
what
are
I'm
we talking
saying?
about? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Yang, charge your phone up. Charge your phone up, man. We having a rare one today. So,
That's why the Constitution don't give a damn what your ideology is. It don't care.
or race.
All your race, all your sex.
Right.
Or, well, I keep saying sexuality. That was later on because it was clear cut. Like I said, the only one that I will allow anybody to play with in the Constitution is men, because it clearly say men in the Constitution.
Oh yeah,
Clearly,
yeah, yeah. That's right. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
give you that one.
yeah. It did
But
say
but
that.
that's
Yeah.
that was the sign of the times at that particular time. Women was barefoot in the kitchen. That was a norm. You know what I'm saying? Nobody expected women to be in a predominant position at any point in time. So with that being said, if the founding fathers didn't expect women to be in a predominant position, and you say that they never expected black people to be in a predominant position, why they didn't write it in the Constitution? Like why didn't they do it?
But again, MD, and I tell this to you and Yanga, they were their mind wasn't even on that at the time. Their mind was to get away from the king at the time.
Well, their mind was on independence, period.
There you go. Right, right, right. Okay, okay. Not to be taxed, man, and they felt like they were being underrepresented by the king. So the focus was the king at, like you said, independence.
Well, that's the Declaration. No, I'm talking. The Constitution was about righting a wrong that the monarchy had placed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Remember they had the Constitutional Congress. They specifically said, hey, look, what do we need to do in order to make sure that we get away from the monarchy in any type of way? Remember, they wanted to
Right.
make George Washington the king of America.
That's right.
He was like, nah, like that defeat the whole purpose. You know
No,
what I'm
missed the
saying?
point. Yeah, missed the whole point.
On the right to Georgia 10 East.
So from that aspect, that's why they wrote the Constitution the way they did. So equality of opportunity would be for all people.
But what
And
people? I think that it's misleading. I think you're being misleading, MD, when if you saying that black people were written into the Constitution.
I'm
You
not
know, I
saying
mean,
black people were written into the Constitution. I'm not saying any people was written into the Constitution. Not even them.
In 1 3/4 miles.
That's what I'm saying.
On the right to Georgia
that's
10
who the
East.
Constitution was written for, them, to ensure them.
I,
Dr. Claude Anderson says, and I'm gonna have to play this. I hate my internet doesn't play it, be messing up when I'm trying to play videos. But Dr. Claude Anderson said the Constitution was the first affirmative action, and it was affirmative action for white males. It is the first thing to do. It declares not only their supremacy, but their right to existence in this land and this system that reinforces and the structure that reinforces and upholds their not sovereignty, but their, I hate to say supremacy, but their whiteness as a right to everything. Hold on, let me find a
Yanga,
quiet
hold on,
spot.
hold on. Hold on, hold on. No, no, no. I gotta no. Yanga, I gotta stop you right there. They were white, right? Yeah, I gotta wait till Yanga come back, man, because he trying to slip that white black thing in there. No, Yanga, stop that.
I don't like I said.
Well,
The
watch
way the
this, watch
con-
this.
How you not?
go
How
ahead.
you not slip it in there? I mean, it's not
No,
about
Yanga,
slipping
Yanga.
it in there. Y'all trying
No,
to slip.
no, Yanga.
Mhm.
The people that wrote the Constitution were white, correct?
Georgia 10
Yes.
The king was white, right?
Yeah.
Who was their fight against when they were writing the Constitution?
Yeah. The fight was against that monarchy.
Okay, they were both
But
white.
okay, but that's what I'm saying. They were trying to still. Your point is what? That they're
My
not trying to
point is
establish
that
another land. My point is you weren't. They did not include you, natives like MD so adequately put. Women at that particular time, women had a low status. We weren't included in that writing. Hence the amendments. Now I question. And I'm gonna have to. I'm not gonna speak too much on it because I have to look up the Freeman Act. That MD bring his shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't just say no shit with MD. MD gonna bring it. So I'm gonna look that up. So I'm gonna look that up. However, I question, like, I don't know. I believe it's a little misleading to think that the 14th Amendment just wrote us into the Constitution like that. And also what I'm adding to that is the sentiment of not only the people who framed the Constitution, but the people who now today enforce the Constitution. The Constitution never did away with the sentiment of white supremacy. It allows us. They were so crafty in framing it. It allows everybody. It's like Trump's "Make America Great Again." What the fuck does that mean? That's what the Constitution is. What the fuck does that mean? People are seeing themselves in there that are not in there, and now we see them going back with the reversing decisions, using the Constitution. Jackson, Mississippi, using an old state constitution. Now we see the craftiness of this wording come to play amongst it, not just white supremacists, but white people who have a sense of white entitlement and white privilege due to just the very nature of America.
Gang, hold on. You're not gonna goddamn come on here and take a stab at Trump and not be goddamn reply to it.
Shit. Yeah,
He
we're gonna get.
specifically said, yeah, you ain't gonna do that to Trump.
You,
Trump
you, you, you
specifically
better you
said,
better you better bake a you better put a file in a cake and send it to him. Trump on his way up out this motherfucker.
hey, well, I remember that. I'll play
Put some
that
money
back
on
when he
his
wins the election.
okay. Put some money on his books. That's what you got to do.
Okay, I'll
Mhm.
remember that when he wins the election in the landslide.
I'm trying to tell you,
When he
but I
proves
will
number
give you
20.
this. Now I will say this: there must be something to that. My view on politics. I believe black people should register independent. I believe we should make all parties cater to us, tell us specifically what they're going to do for us and how, if we use our vote as this swing vote or whatever and put them in office, how it's going to be beneficial to us. Just yesterday, one of my
That's
favorite,
spoken like a true
what is it?
black nationalist. Yeah, you just spoke like
Yeah,
a true black nationalist, right?
what is Misha? Misha, I believe her last name is Maynard. Damn, is she she's a, I don't want to say it. She's a state representative. So Misha Maynard, one of our state representatives yesterday, had a press conference at the Capitol, and she went to the Republican Party.
Right,
hmm
right.
And that's my girl too, and she does a lot of work in the community in the West End and all of that. Bringing right. She was. We got a proclamation day for the parents of and the relatives of people who were slain by police officers unjustly.
Right.
And she was instrumental in getting that proclamation pushed through in Atlanta, a whole day recognizing that. And so to hit, I said, damn, I really got to look. And so when I asked her, I was like, okay, Misha, what made you go to the Republican Party? She said everything she was trying to do for the community, she got tired of the Democrats shooting it down. So she had to go to a party that best reflected her views in this and that. And that's what I've always said about black people. We have no set politics that we can be so have this blind allegiance. But we have to be careful, what we get with, and we have to know. I don't think enough is known about the Republican Party to really I think black Republicans or black politicians really have to begin to explain the difference between these mega Republicans, moderate Republicans, them Republicans that almost smell like Democrats. You have to know the difference. Like I said, props, shouts out to MD, who really just his stance on a lot of shit had me go back and look at a lot of things I didn't. In passing, like, okay, Thaddeus Stevens was actually, this radical abolitionist, but I didn't know the radical Republicans was to that point to where, these motherfuckers was with it. Like, they really was like, slavery is wrong. But it goes to speak to white privilege and white entitlement. At the end of the day, they were willing to compromise the lives of thousands of human beings. And I think that sentiment still exists, even with the Constitution. Like I said, to me, one of the fallacies of the Constitution is in the First Amendment. I think it's Article 5 or something like that, where it says that slavery can't be abolished. So it showed into these 20 years up. So it shows me that the Constitution is a document that can be it's like almost like the Bible or the Quran. It can be played with, and the word is so ambiguous. that it can allow black people to hope and dream and see their inclusion in it, but give white people still enough ammunition to exclude us and to keep obstacles. So, I think I think my only, not my only, I think if when me and MD talk, one of our things I think we probably, where I'm finding our biggest disagreement in is in the individualism. And I think you put a lot of faith in the Constitution, but I can see what you're saying. It can be, if we move collectively, manipulated to the point like what Frederick Douglass did, that we point out their hypocrisy in their practices. But I don't see as our equity, our equality, our inclusion written in that document. Damn, son, and dropped off.
Yeah. He just I think he said phone went dead. Yeah, everybody phone down. What the hell going on?
Hey,
Y'all ain't
shit,
talking to y'all phone that night? What's going on?
we ain't putting them on. No, we ain't putting them on them charges at night. That's what it is. We had not put
Yeah.
them on them
Hey,
charges.
again, like I said, I get it. I get it. Like I said, we find similarities in a lot of the shit that we say, but when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to individualism and collectivism, we saying the same exact thing,
I think
like the
so.
same thing.
I think so.
I'm
I
just
listen
telling,
to
I'm just telling you it's one word, and you saying it's another word.
yeah. That's what I say. One thing I had to give you props for, and I think that that's going to go a long way in your debating in the league, is your ability to do the research. You can't come to you half step. You have had me comb through this Constitution. I shit you not. I don't think I've I don't think I've ever looked into the Constitution like I've looked into it. And I do see some things. I can see where a lot of our people would, the way that it's worded, would fight for some things. I'm gonna go look at this Freeman, more into this Freeman Act, because my understanding of the history of Reconstruction is them crackers, they again played us. They robbed us. They robbed our bank. They misled us and misdirected us, and there was a lot of spent energy and wasting time. And even when we begin to build these great monuments of black excellence like Rosewood and some shit we have built in Atlanta and stuff like that, we still see that we're not afforded the protection. We look at the Bull Connors and the I forgot the governor of Alabama who said segregation now, segregation forever. So even when we see with this so-called great document in place, the people who right now have the authority don't even, or they have found the ambiguous wording, they found enough in the ambiguous wording to still try to implement white supremacy and just white hatred.
Right.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's a fight. We can't stop fighting, boy. I tell you that.
Yeah, no
It
doubt,
is a
no doubt.
fight. But at the end
And
of the day, I
again,
think,
no, my bad. I think it's a lag. My bad.
okay. No, I was just gonna say at the end of the day, though, we actually agree on the same thing. As at the end of the day, we got to make this place better for our existence within the
No doubt.
within the framework of what we're dealing with. That's shit. Where I'm gonna go? I'm American like a motherfucker. I know people hate for me to say that, this and that. Yes, I'm African, but I'm American. I'm an African here in America, and I have cultural ties and attachments, and just all the things that go into being a part of this whole experience. And you can't divorce yourself from it. What happens to America inevitably happens to us. And I'm sad that black people don't get involved enough in their own self-determination politically. Too many times, we just really fanciful. I guess we think if we close our eyes tight enough and say fuck it enough, that we just get absolved from being attached to the political process. And, I would like to see more of us get involved in that, regardless of what side we are, get involved, and then we can start hashing out what we need to do.
Yeah.
But the apathy towards politics is sickening. And this is why we get handled like we get handled.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's something that we can agree on.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, the participation in the political process, in my opinion, is the ultimate solution for what harms us here in this country. Period. Now,
Yeah.
again, if you want to title it a certain way, hey, I'm all for discussion. You know what I'm saying? As long as we're doing something civilly in the country,
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a damn what
Mm-hmm.
we call it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But until that happens, and it's not under the guise of any political party, it's going to continue to be the way it is. And when we try to
That's
fight for justice under no specificity, these are the results we're going to get, just like what happened in the Tulsa, Oklahoma case, period. You know what I mean? It's going to
absolutely.
continue.
It's going to continue. Absolutely. And that's the whole thing. And starting to develop, one of the things I see back then when you look at the Freeman, when you look at the Reconstruction era, uh, and on so forth, was there was a social, cultural, political understanding amongst us.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We knew instinctive, not instinctively, yeah, well, instinctively, and it was just apparent that it was a us against them dynamic. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so I think we've been lulled to sleep to that reality. So our social, cultural, political understanding isn't reflected in our politics. Like nothing matches up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Nothing matches up. We don't have enough. Like if we had had a social cultural understanding, social cultural economic understanding to evolve our politics, I think we would even vote differently. If we knew how a lot of federal intervention hinders our advancement, if we knew, you know what I'm saying? I think if we had black businesses, more black businesses, and black businesses not only did education, but was really geared towards the black community, I really think the way we look at things politically would change. Like my uncle, them are business owners and they're Republicans. And I can see why, for their social economic class, for what they're dealing with. So I think that there's not an attachment from our I don't want to call them the elite class, but from our economic class, our business class, and things like that, man. I just really, to me, a lot of it just goes with group dynamic.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna
And
be
and,
honest,
and
just group.
yeah, yeah, I agree with that. But from the aspect what you're saying as far as community-based efforts, to me that shouldn't be a political thing. If just like you used the example with your uncle being a business owner, they share more commonality in a specific ideology than anything else as far as economics.
Yeah,
When it comes to the community aspect of it, that's on the people that hold those positions to make a conscientious effort to make a better reality for said community. That's my opinion.
right, right.
The,
I mean,
the, no community should be attuned to be inclined to accept stuff from the government. You know what I'm saying?
I
That's something that we
yeah,
should be doing.
I can agree with that. That's. I think we're saying the same thing. When we have that attachment, I was watching this documentary about the Atlanta massacre, and one of the things that caught me is when Atlanta started to integrate and black people began to, advance. That the black uh, working class or black people that held certain positions begin to become elitists and separate themselves from the black masses. And I
Right.
think that dynamic still exists today. The black masses don't understand how the propagation of black businesses and black businesses having certain rights benefit the community as far as jobs, as far as us patronizing ourselves and things of that nature. So we vote for larger federal intervention. We vote for taxation on these businesses and stuff like that because we're not attached to that. We're divorced from black businessmen. Like we're not attached to a certain economic class. Unfortunately, one of the things of the revolution, why you see communism being a big part of it, is because they do appeal to this a certain economic class.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we don't see our advancement as a people. We, like you said, we say individualism and collectivism, and we basically talking about the same thing, but we don't see the individual achievement of our people being reflective as the whole. Like we used to back in the day. We used to celebrate individual achievements, the Dr. Kings and back in the day, even the Frederick Douglasses and stuff like that, because we knew that individual achievement was reflective of the whole. And these were people that represented the whole, that their individual achievement was for the Martin Delaney's and shit like that. Their personal advancement was they was giving back to advancing the race. They were saying, I am reflective of the race. These doors being open for me should be accessible to all black people. You know, they
Yeah,
they
yeah, yeah.
they yeah, they didn't just get their individual success and be like, well, hey, fuck it, I'm included. Frederick Douglass did just be like, well, I'm accepted. You know what I'm saying? I got a white wife and everything. I'm good. He's still, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He could have been like, fuck this shit, fuck them niggas. Real shit. I'm up here up in the north. I'm on my little speaking tour, getting money, got a
Yeah,
little white
yeah.
wife and shit. But he still clamored and championed advancement, accessibility, the application of the Constitution, the Bill of Rights to the race, to all the people. He's like, it wasn't an individual thing. He was like, this ain't nothing to all of us. This applies to all of us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I
yeah.
said, yeah. So I said all that to say that, I think that education is important. Our black business owners, our black upper class have to have an effort. So is the lower economic class or the proletarian, the working class. We have to have an effort to come back up under this group dynamic. You know what I'm saying? And I think then we can I think our politics would change. We wouldn't be so inclined to vote for more federal intervention, for bigger government. We'd be like, you know what, this hinders individual growth. It hinders the opportunity for the
There you
individual
go.
to really. However, this is why I say the social cultural comes back in, though, which we don't have anymore. When we go back to the Frederick Douglasses and shit, that social cultural understanding gave them the realization that they had accountability to the race, that their individual success meant that, they still had to, okay, I made it here. I got to bust the door wide open. I have to make this accessible to all my people. I have to make this a norm. I can't just be the exception to the rule anymore. This has to be a norm. And I think that still is very real for black people. I think that we still have exceptional black people. I don't think that's a testament to the greatness of America. I think it's a testament to the exceptional ability and the greatness of those individuals who have made it despite of. And we would like to see their struggles continue to be for the advancement of the masses, a group dynamic. You know, I think too much escapism is a real thing with our people. We've been beat down as a group that it's like I can't win lumping myself in with black people. If I break off and do my own thing, I can have my individual success.
Yeah,
But that has to,
yeah, I see that. I see that. But like I said, through economic principle, individualism in and of itself is simply just the profit in which you gain, despite whether you do it in a group or not. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So that's what me and you be getting tied up in. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
And
yeah,
it revolves around capitalism. Now that's going to have to be the ultimate discussion. How much
yeah.
of this, how much of this is pro capitalism or anti capitalism? You know what I'm
I,
saying?
you know, exactly. I think here's the crazy part, because I don't want to say I'm pro capital. I think, first of all, let me say, I think when we're dealing with a lot of the listeners, you and I, MD, we're people who have studied these type of things. So I think, steps are in order. Uh, so because to say pro capitalism, if I say I'm pro capitalism, people are gonna be like, oh, yeah, Angus said he's pro capitalism. However, living in a capitalist society, I think that capitalism is an instrument that can be used for the advancement
Uh-oh.
of black people. Yeah, 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 because we live in a capitalist society. I think it can be used for the advancement of black people, just ensuring that when we enter into capitalism, we can't enter into capitalism as the way it exists in America now. There again, going back to that group dynamic, because we don't possess the individual capital to compete with capitalist America, and with discrimination and racism being a real thing. That's even another obstacle. Like a lot of us are denied loans and denied uh, the instruments to compete, even the consumer base to compete with white America in capitalism as it exists. Now, if
Yeah.
we go in, like I gave the example, I'm always giving this example. When I was chairing the party of the Black Panthers, I needed some T-shirts. So I went to, black people, went to three of them. And all three, all they could do, well, I can get you 120, I can get you, but I needed 300. So I ended up having to go to another company. Unfortunately, they were white that could cover the whole order. My thing was, why couldn't these brothers see they entering into capitalism? getting their, little t-shirt company trying to compete with not just this mega t-shirt company, but also one another in individual capitalism. And I'm telling, my thing to them would have been, why couldn't y'all come together, complete my order, and divide the profit? Like, okay, he needs 300 t-shirts. I take 100, you take 100, and you take 100, and we get this order covered. But them trying to enter into it individually and get all the money and think they lost out, they couldn't cover the order. And so that's a microcosm of a macrocosm. I think that capitalism is the same way or how it's practiced in America on a larger scale. When we enter into it with the group dynamic to be able to compete with the larger manufacturers and corporations, and to be able to cover our consumers at reasonable cost. One of the reasons we don't do a lot of shopping with black businesses are their prices are astronomical.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
be
But
high.
they're trying to cover.
Right.
Right. It'd be high as hell. You'd be like, what? I can go to Mr. Charlie and get this for $3 less. And then they say, oh, white ice is colder, blah, blah. But it's just it's economic sense. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes I'll go on to make the sacrifice if I got a few extra dollars to do it here. However, if they'd have went in to like cooperative, they could have competed price-wise with their competitors. But since they're trying to enter into it individually, and they don't have the consumer base like that, and they don't, can't compete with the competitors like that on merchandise, their shit is astronomical to make the difference up. And it just doesn't make business sense.
Yeah, that part I agree with. Like I said, it don't take away from the capitalistic principle of it. But yeah, that point I agree with. I think more of us definitely have to work together in order to fulfill a certain aspect of our own community. Ain't no doubt about that, because we ain't got the money to do it on our own.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But at the same time, the market in and of itself dictates who lives and who dies. Meaning, if we allow the market to make sure that everybody is satisfied, whether it be price or quality or quantity or whatever the situation may be, that's what's going to ultimately spark the innovation, spark the efficiency in production and stuff like that. On that aspect, yeah, we gonna definitely have to work together. Well, that's why I push reparations, so we can all have the capital in order to fulfill that destiny. But in any event, if we allow the market to just work and just do what it do, despite any efforts from a multinationalist company, blah blah blah. I'm talking about community based. Because at the end of the day, we all still going to Walmart. Ain't not gonna stop that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But from a consumer, from a community aspect, it's little things that we can do in our own community. Because, like I said, we are culturally distinct people. It's certain stuff that you just can't get at Walmart. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
No matter how hard they try, you know what I'm saying? They try to put everything in Walmart.
Oh boy, they try to have it in there. They try to have a whole black hair section. I had to get it.
The whole black,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
African oil and shit, right?
But still, it's certain stuff you just simply ain't gonna be able to get at Walmart. If we start creating, like Dr. Claude Anderson said, if we start bringing back these cottage industries where we provide certain products and services in our own community, that's going to be enough, in my opinion. That'll be enough to start building an economy, a micro economy within the community.
Yes.
Now, from the communalism aspect of it, I get that. But like I said, that's modern communalism. I ain't got no issue with that. At the end of the day, it's still capitalism, because we basing it on this green piece of paper that we got. You know what I'm saying?
It's capitalism to the go ahead.
No, I was done. Yeah, that's all that I've been saying the whole time.
It's crazy, because it's like what you said, modernization with the evolution of anything, or as time goes on, if you want to survive, things have to evolve. It's it's capitalism. It's funny because it really is a communalist understanding participating in capitalism, you know. And so, like you said, with the way capitalism exists, I don't think we can ban, but capitalism in itself and it having stamped itself as a dominant economic theory and practice, I think that it could be used as an instrument, like you so adequately put out, on that just minor community economics and that giving us economic footing. One of the things, though, the problem with us is our social cultural understanding. We tend to sell the things that could give us economic footing. I see here, I live off Bankhead. So, example, the foods. Let's say we did that. Soul foods. There are certain foods that are particular to us. Don't you know we'll sell that out? Like I said, I live off Bankhead, not going to these wing places or these soul food places. Why is Chinese people in there?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, just something that simple. If we maintain our diet, I think saying, you know what, this is unique and specific to us. This is something only we can do. And we shopped only with people whom was us who made this food. That could be mine enough. But when somebody come in and say, hey, this is a great idea, I give you 500,000 for it. Shit, say less. Say less. But when you find with the group that, like, my sister is a beautician, she's one of the baddest in Atlanta. She does locks, and she does locks of celebrities. She's awesome. Big plug for her. So she wanted to expand, and she wanted to get into beauty products, hair oils and stuff like that. So she began that whole process of trying to get into it and was blackballed. And I said, what happened? She said, the Koreans. And she said, no matter how much, when she went to the Koreans, no matter how much she said she would knock the price off, what she get, the bottom line was they essentially only deal with one another. They only deal, and that is the glue to their monopoly on hair care, black hair care products. They will only deal with when they only see us as customers. They're not going to allow us to be competitors in that business, in black hair care. You know, so that's the type of social cultural understanding we have to get. Hey, I only eat this particular food for my people. I only believe my people can make this food. I only believe my people can make this clothing. But we'll make some clothing and let Gucci come down. Hey, man, I like that design. Can I buy it? We'll sell it to Gucci. And Gucci will slap their label on it and mark it up and sell it back to us.
Well, but that go to the economic power of the consumer, though. Like I said, in 24 hours, if all black women say, hey, look, we just not going to shop at these places, in 24 hours, they will pack up and leave. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
they wouldn't have no choice.
But like I said, there again, it goes back to that social cultural understanding. It's commercialism is real. We live in a commercial materialistic society. I mean, they will target this shit at you. Have it your way. Just do it. Nike, just do. I mean, commercialism is a real motherfucking thing. And so our sisters and our brothers will sell social cultural cohesiveness or unity and loyalty for that material product that not only will make them feel better, but will, because like I said, escapism is real, but not would only make them feel better, but will make them stand out from niggerism, even if they standing out being the monkiest ass nigga. They think they separating themselves from nigger. You know, I'm gonna separate myself, but you just being the loudest nigga. You're a buffoon. You don't own shit, but all that bullshit you got on. $1 million worth of clothes and you don't have no motherfucking property, nothing tangible. No, right, you know what I'm saying? So commercialism is real. So while you trying to stand out, you know, a lot of our brothers and sisters don't understand that they standing out on not just buffoonery, but they're spending the millions of dollars that could be invested in their future. You know, we don't look to future. We win big money. I know people that hit, you know, big money and this and that, and they figure out how they can spend it. Not in posterity, not in generational wealth. What we can begin to invest in to ensure my children don't have to do the same exact fucking shit I did. Same exact thing. Hustle to live. You know what I'm saying? And then my grandchildren, hey, come on, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, you know? I feel you. Like I said, that, you know, that same argument is what crackers use for reparation. You know what I mean? That same exact argument.
What's that?
Oh hell, you know, nigga ain't gonna do nothing but spend it all up on Jordans and you know, buying Impala and all. Same argument.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, if it's gonna take maybe classes in investment or whatever the situation may be. Some sense of frugalism gonna have to be set if you want to be something in the future, if not for you, for your offspring. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But hey, at the end of the day, that's an individual choice.
Hey, I
I
agree
can't
with that.
make nobody. I can't make nobody do whatever they want to do with their money.
I
I'm
totally agree
me
with
being
that.
a capitalist. I can't do it.
Right.
But
I totally
like
agree with that.
you going back to the hair care product. I remember hell in Atlanta, they used to have the what was it called, the Bronner Brothers
Yeah, Barner Brothers. The
expo.
hell,
Yeah,
yeah, my
yeah.
sisters used to get out with them. Yeah.
I don't even know if they still do that. You know what I'm
I
saying?
think that, yeah, I think they still have hair expos, but when we found, like, one, shouts out to Talia Wajid, who has hair care products, you know what I'm saying? So she eventually got into hair care products, but being the distributor. So we can have the hair care shows. We've gotten to the point where we make the hair care products. We still haven't gotten to the point where we're largely the distributors of that. But
Right,
you're right,
right. The
Barner
distributors,
Brothers.
right.
Right, and that's where they killing us. Nobody should be distributing the largest distributors of products that are specifically for us. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And so, but you're right. Barner Brothers used to have these awesome hair shows. It's just,
I don't even know. Hell, for all we know, it's some white person that owned Bronner Brothers at this point. Hell, I don't know.
yep.
I don't know if it's
You
still
never
black
know.
owned. You know what I mean?
Man, you never know. Like I said, we will sell it. We will sell it out. Our understanding of capitalism is warped. You know what I'm saying? So we sell out those things that could propel generational wealth. We sell out those things that could uh, begin to create a micro economy for the black community, because that's just like social cultural understanding. And I agree with you. I'm one of those people that you can't tell if somebody if they give us reparations, I can't tell nobody what to do with it. You go buy him all the weed in the world and be sitting on
Right.
mountains of marijuana. That's why I can't tell him, but I do believe it, right? But I believe enough that there is enough of us that if we get reparations, we can knock a ding in something. We can begin to create. I believe there are enough like minds that we can begin to create something, and we can get a shot at that reparations money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shit, let us create some. Okay, niggas are gonna spend, and they're gonna spend ignorantly. Let me put a product out there to get some of that money in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't control how he spends, but I can provide another option. I'm gonna give, hey, nigga, I got chains too. I got
Yeah.
sneakers too. You know what I'm saying? I got a Foot Locker. It may not be called Foot Locker, but I got a black Foot Locker. You know what I'm saying? Black feet or whatever.
Hey,
So
just like I told Blackson the same thing. Every other ethnic group, the one thing we don't got that every other ethnic group got is that they have a sector of their own community that are venture capitalists. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
Black
yes,
folks ain't got that,
right.
and I think that's what we're missing. I think if we
I think
had that
reparations will put
particular
us in the
sector,
game, though.
it will. It will.
Yeah, yeah.
'Cause that's what I'm gonna do with mine. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and see, that's what I'm saying. I think there are enough like-minded people like yourself and like me that you're gonna have niggas that spend. They're gonna get their Cadillacs. Just like you said, if we can't, because even white people use that excuse. I heard black people say that, man, niggas ain't gonna do that. Okay, what are you gonna do with it? Be that
Yeah.
be that small percentage that begins to do something with it. And like I said, if these niggas gonna spend, shit, have something to offer.
Right. Right.
Try to get some of those dollars. But I do agree with you. I think that if they loose that money to us, there's enough of us that understand venture capitalism that we begin to look in some of these businesses or create businesses for other people for other black people with that money to invest in. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And begin. I think there's enough of us out there like that. That's why I get
Yeah.
mad at the generalization of that nigga and black man thing. I think that nigga is just had great propagation. But I think there are enough black people out there or melanated people out there with enough sense to begin to do some things that would really give us a cornerstone in the black community. And I think they know that.
Yeah.
Shit,
Yeah. Yeah.
you
No
know,
doubt. No doubt. Like,
yeah,
hey,
research.
like me personally, I live in a Mexican community,
Uh-huh.
and that's how they roll through venture capitalists. They'll go around and look at different abandoned plazas and all
Hmm.
type of stuff, and they'll scrounge it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, they will.
To make a concerted effort to benefit their own community.
their own
You know what I'm
community, and
saying?
they'll turn the whole plaza be a little Mexican community. They speak Spanish. They got a little
Yeah.
market in
Little,
there.
yeah.
Exactly.
There
That
it
caters
is.
a micro economy that caters to their community. Absolutely.
There you
You know
go.
what? You and I be saying the same things though. I think it do be the word
We be saying the same
because
thing.
because that's that what I'm talking example of group dynamics in a capitalist society, how a group will participate in capitalism for their benefit. And I think our lack of political understanding, especially back in the day, our looking for freedom allowed the communists to come in and really uh, do a number on us. Like who was that debated Marcus Garvey? Uh, uh,
I know who
man,
you're
who was
talking
that?
about.
He was a communist,
And
but later he died in
we were just
Africa.
talking about that the other day. We were just
You
talking
know what I'm
about
saying?
the dude.
Yeah,
Damn, what was his name?
man,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't. I
He
never
joined the
believe.
Revolutionary Communist Party at
Yeah,
some point. Yeah.
yeah. Did Blackson tell you they tried to seduce me and him? Did he tell you they tried to get he and I?
Yeah, he did.
You know what I'm saying? We so hard on that black nationalist stuff. They sent the number two, Mark Dixon, a black dude, a personal dinner with him. Boy, he was trying to pull us into the Communist Party like you wouldn't believe. And I was asking him about his black nationalist stance. You know what I'm saying? Why the Communist Party? Why communism for black people? Like, I don't believe Marxists understood the race struggle. I get, his theory. And it's some, Marx, and then even put Lenin, because the Marxist Leninists are the only people who have successfully pulled off a revolution. So I
Yeah.
get why they are a big deal. However, we find, and this is what black people had to understand, that Marxist theory in itself isn't enough to address the cultural phenomena. I look at Mao Zedong. Mao came in straight Marxist Leninist, and Mao almost destroyed China
Yeah, he
with
did.
that Marxist Leninist
Great leap
bullshit. He almost
forward and all that shit.
the
You know what
Great
I'm
Leap Forward,
saying?
right? He done took all the people out the damn field and made industry and shit like that. Almost starved this country. So then what he had to go back. And remember, he fought the nationalists. He killed the Chinese nationalists. They all
Yeah.
came together to fight Japan, tricked their ass. He said, you know what, we got to unify. He became a nationalist for a minute. He said, we got to unify to get Japan out of here, to stop the invasion of Japan. So he worked with, so that the nationalists and the communists stopped fighting to get Japan out there. He let the nationalists do a bulk of the fighting. So when Japan left, the nationalists was weak. Then he came in and destroyed the nationalists, and then almost destroyed China. And then had to go back, and after, like you said, the Great Leap Forward, the Industrial Revolution in China, he had to come back and have what he called the Cultural Revolution, which is basically a nationalist revolution, and begin to promote. And this is where Maoism comes in, and begin to promote China again. Get back in the
Yeah.
fields, get back into the temple. He even went so far as to persecute former Communist Party officers. Kind of double cross shit is that? We work with you
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
for the people. So Marxist Leninists, when trying to apply it without the specifics of the people, is disastrous, as China can attest to. So it's going to take uh, social, cultural, or cultural consideration, even if they're using Marxists as a cornerstone. Not to be long-winded, but to throw Huey P. Newton in here. That's my disagreement with Huey, and I think also the demise of the Black Panther Party. When Huey embraced not just internationalism, but when he embraced Marxist-Leninist theory, I
Yeah.
think that
It was
began
more
to
about the proletariat than anything.
exactly.
At one point with the Black Panther Party.
Yep, yep. There you go. You said it all. You summed it up. And I think when it began to be all about the proletariat, it became less about the black community. And the black community, when talking revolution in the black community, is not just comprised of the proletariat. It began to divide us. That type of Marxist-Leninist rhetoric and ideology espoused by Huey began to divide the black community. And we began to start calling black people bourgeois. We began to really put the class factor into the black struggle. And I think at times, yes, class should be considered, but at times in the black struggle, I don't think class should be the prominent consideration as far as our unity. You know what I'm saying? We black upper class, and anybody that studies revolution, the bourgeois have been what we call the bourgeoisie have been instrumental and revolutions, what they call the merchant class. Those they're instrumental in the fucking revolution.
Right,
So
right.
to separate the two, I think what is erroneous on black people's part. I don't think we can afford to really get into that class struggle shit like that.
No, no, because in dealing with this modernized capitalist society, you in turn is gonna create you gonna create a little mini ecosystem
Yep.
based on class amongst your own people.
Yep.
You know what I'm
Yep.
saying?
Yeah.
It ain't
Yeah.
you ain't gonna have no choice but to have that.
Exactly.
That's why I don't look at class in that light, because I know under the current capitalism that we are in, that you got the adaptability of upward mobility. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
I never say that you just tied to a certain class, despite your social condition. I would
Hmm.
never say that. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
So that's why I believe it goes back to the video, the British girl. I mean, based off her biasness of socialism. You know what I'm saying? I
Uh-huh.
was like, well, hold on, wait a minute. We're talking about a class of a specific group, but then,
Uh-oh.
what really are we talking about?
Right.
And that's the reason I played that video, just to
Hmm.
show how she was depicting black nationalism under the lens of Marxist Leninist. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes. That's the, like I said, that's the downside of Marxist Leninist theory, is that black nationalism doesn't exist in there because race doesn't exist. It's based on the class struggle. And yeah, like you said, that little British girl, I didn't get to watch all the film, but that's what she was definitely going to be biased towards nationalism. She's
Yeah,
definitely going to be biased towards nationalism, because because nationalism is about the solidarity and unification of black people. And so that speaks to the class struggle, that we have to approach the class struggle differently. We can't make them enemies of, like they said, like socialists or black communists take into consideration, is that Marx and even Lenin, they was in European places. The race, even though Marx speaks about the race thing about slave, but application, proximity, and everything like that, when he was coming up with the theory, didn't exist for him. You know what I'm saying? There was it wasn't a race thing. It was European on European. It was about, you could say, class.
yeah. Oh shit, I'm breaking up.
There you go. I'm back, man. I got a
Okay,
new
okay.
dog. I'm trying to train it. Hold on 1 second.
Nah, it's all good. I'm actually finna get ready to jump off because I'm finna get ready to get unloaded. I don't know what I guess Blackson phone
Yeah.
pooped out.
All right, man. Yeah, man. I'm gonna get off too, because my dogs. I got these two beautiful pits, man, but they puppies, and so I'm working with trying to get them together. Cash
Yeah,
and
it's all
Snoop,
good.
and they
I
all
know how
over it.
that go. I know how that go, man.
Hell yeah. All right, man. Well,
What's
listen, great man, great show. I always enjoy. Snoop, sit. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, you ain't gonna mess with the dogs, man.
Yeah, man. I mess with. So with that, man, I'm gonna say peace. Great show. Thanks for having me on.
All right, no doubt, Younger man. We'll chop it up. We'll chop it up.
All right, we'll chop it up. See y'all a little
All right,
later.
man.
All right,
Peace.
peace.
All right, y'all. I guess Black Son, yeah, he in the abyss somewhere, man. Um, but yeah, I didn't even know like he was live. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I'm just riding around. Hey, look, man. Hey, good discussion with Yanga. Again, I've been saying this. Me and Yanga share commonalities in a lot of shit that we say. We just say it in two different ways. Individualism, in and of itself, like I said, from the economic philosophy, whether it be a single person or a group of people, is merely capitalism in and of itself. Capitalism defines the individual aspect of the society. That's it. When it comes to modern communalism, it can be done under the facade of capitalism, but you still gonna have to work with other communities. You still gonna have to work with other multinational organizations in order to generate the income needed for the community. African communalism is the reason behind its sifting of resources through the European. Now, I told y'all it's Bookchin, the dude that came up with modern communalism. He's got a certain philosophy that, in my opinion, I don't think Yeager would totally agree with, because he's looking into modern communalism as being separate governmental entities within the nation. That shit ain't going. He's basically trying to make little mini socialist entities or governments in the totality of the nation. That ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, interesting discussion nonetheless. Appreciate Yanga for coming in and finding common ground. Blackson, if you out there, when you get your phone back straight, hell, fire up another one, man, and we can continue that cultural discussion, man. Because like I said, I think it's important. I think it's important that we start to single out these different aspects of the black culture and how they basically become an incentive for other groups of people, or not necessarily incentives, but other they become shrouds to amalgamation, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. Hey, shout out for everybody that came through, man. This Gregory Calloway person saying resegregation is the answer. I mean, good luck with that. You know what I'm saying? But even in resegregation, you still were going and working at the white man job. You know what I'm saying? You still was employed by the white man. So again, how are we defining this under the context of income? That's what I be trying to get at. You know what I'm saying? But hey, in any event, man, shout out to everybody that came through. Again, Blackson, if you want to fire up another string, just get I'll hit you up. I will figure it out. We'll figure it out. Shout out to came through, hit the yeah, we're gonna check in with y'all, man. Peace.